Disclaimer, my readings are not for the faint of heart. Must have thick skin.
Hey guys, it's that time. Pick a story where in one of the decks or all of the decks could be a story or a message for you. So in deck 1, we have those of you that are pressed about a love situation. So could your story or message be here in deck number 1? Or if you are pressed about your career or finances, this is deck 2. Could your story or message be here in deck 2? Or if you are just open to any spiritual messages, this is the deck for you, deck 3. Deck number 3. All right, so we will go ahead and get started with deck number 1. You have the Ace of Knives, 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, 4 of Knives, 5 of Knives, overall energy, Bride of Cups, 3 of Cups, and 6 of Coins. All right, so I feel like initially you agreed to something. Maybe you agreed to somebody setting you up, or you agreed to go on a date with somebody. And it does seem like there was like socializing, and maybe you started to feel some sort of emotional connection with someone. And whatever the case is, it seems like now you're making some sort of decision to focus on yourself, even though maybe you are having an emotional connection with someone. It seems like you're not in any rush to enter into a relationship. I feel like you're more concerned about your time and your values. And, you know, I feel like you want a soulmate and you do have one, but at the same time, maybe because of some kind of maturity, you know, you're just not in a rush. And it's like the more you think about something, the more you do kind of feel like you are comfortable around somebody, or you feel like you know this person, or it's kind of like a slow soul recognition. It's kind of like a slow burn. It's like, okay, the more you think about it, the more you start to remember this person's soul. But it could be a situation where, because you are being so nonchalant about this connection, that the person tries to match your energy. And so this person has become distant with you, and they're kind of like giving you back what you're giving to them. And so there could be no communication going on between two people right now. And it does look like ego has gotten in the way of a connection fully developing. It seems like it's being blocked now. And you also, maybe it's the both of you, like you want this connection to develop on your terms, and they want it to develop on their terms. So because of that, you know, the relationship might get a little stagnant. Now, it also could be that you're making a connection with someone, and even though you feel kind of comfortable with this person, maybe it's more like a friend vibe, or you have put someone in the friend zone, but, you know, I kind of feel like they are still trying to go against you or like match your energy. They're like, okay, if you're going to put me in that category, then I can do the same thing to you. So it gets a little petty, this connection. If you are in an established relationship, I see kind of like a different scenario. So there could be someone who you are being cordial with, or friendly with. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a friend of yours or a friend of your person. And maybe something's been happening where you have to kind of set a boundary with this person and just kind of remind them that you're in a relationship. And so, you know, maybe that person now is acting some type of way because you've set up a boundary with them. So anybody that is in a relationship, I feel that maybe you had to set some sort of boundaries, or your partner had to set boundaries with somebody, because it's like, well, you know, I can't, yes, we're having fun together, but that's where it stops. I'm not doing anything else. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. So it could be someone distancing themselves because they don't want that to happen. And you could be experiencing this from someone. Like maybe you've been friendly with someone who's in a relationship, but all of a sudden they get a little distant, and that might be them setting that boundary, just like as a reminder, I'm in a relationship. Maybe, I don't know, not saying that you did anything, but maybe in their mind you did, or maybe they feel like they're getting a little too comfortable with you, so they have to set a boundary with themselves. So it could be that. But yeah, if you feel like you were friends with somebody who's been in a relationship, and they suddenly become distant, that could be why. There could be a water sign in this situation, or maybe you are a water sign. It also looks like the overall energy is about like following your intuition and trusting a decision that you need to make when it comes to your love life. So yeah. And I feel like you have clarity too about what you want, where you're headed. And it definitely seems like there is more of a decision to focus on yourself. It's likely you also had to pray or meditate about a decision, like something happened. You're like, let me pray on it. Let me rest on it. And by just kind of sitting on it, it's giving you clarity about what you need to do. I'm seeing another scenario where maybe you've been debating on telling your friend something, sharing some sort of information about her relationship, and like maybe you saw her significant other or his significant other being inappropriate with somebody and felt like, oh no, now I'm in this weird situation. And I feel like they'll be thankful that you told them what you saw, because it looks like you decided to share it. And I feel like they're thankful, but at the same time, they might still get a little weird about it, or distance themselves. I'm trying to figure out why. I think it's more of, it's a little bit of embarrassment, and kind of like this conflicting feeling of maybe I was better living in ignorance, but no, it's good that I know this. It's a conflicting energy, and I feel like somebody's trying to sort out how they feel, or your friend, if this is you. Or maybe this happened to you, reverse. Your friend came to you, told you something, you're thankful, but at the same time, you're kind of like, maybe I didn't want to know. Yeah. I feel like someone is also being truthful or honest about something. I feel like somebody is being honest about something. They've been thinking about it and decided to speak on it. But then it's kind of like the end result is not what was anticipated. It's kind of like, well, I thought I was doing a good thing by being honest. I feel too like when it comes to making decisions in love, it's like you're hearing someone else's voice, maybe like your mom's or your confidant. It's like you're hearing what they would say. You're like, what would so and so say? What would they? What advice would they be giving me? And so I feel like you are kind of tapped into someone else's energy and trying to hear what they would tell you. Maybe they're unavailable to talk to, or maybe before you divulge some sort of information to this person, you're trying to imagine what they would be saying to you. I feel like you also, if you're not in a rush for a relationship and you're single, It feels like there is a possibility that it's time for this chapter of being single to come to an end, but you're still questioning whether or not you're ready for a commitment or ready for, a relationship, because you have been enjoying being to yourself. And so that's why I feel like if you are single and you happen to meet somebody that you're having a connection with, you might be, in a sense, pushing that person away. But it is possible that this is your soulmate or this is your destiny. But I kind of feel like you want something on your terms, even if the universe is like, it's time, like you're having a relationship transit, it's time for you to move on to this next lesson in a relationship. You've learned some sort of lesson being single. Now it's time for you to learn how to share your time with someone, or, and maybe you're just kind of like, no, universe, like, stop it. Like, I'm enjoying time to myself. So it could be that as well. Yeah, and with this Five of Knives here is an indication that you might be resisting change. I also feel like somebody is trying to teach you a lesson for pushing them away or distancing themselves. Sometimes the thought of you being in love is triggering. I feel like it's something that you're needing to relearn or rework on. It feels like you're wanting some sort of distraction. You also could be thinking about the past or a past person. Maybe someone reminds you of a past person and you're trying to block that out. It also could be that someone comes into your life as a reminder and then they're gone. Like maybe someone is they just come into your life as so that you can remember like what it's like to connect with someone, because if you've been single for a while, maybe you've forgotten. And so it's possible this person comes into your life, gives you like a little reminder, and then they're gone. It also seems like there could be several people that will be sent towards you for you to choose, especially if it's just time for you to enter into a relationship for the next lesson in your life. It seems like there could be several contenders. It could be a fire sign, an earth sign, and maybe a water sign. And I also feel like maybe you're being watched or someone is thinking about you a lot. I feel like it's going to be competition or it's some sort of competitive energy when it comes to pursuing you. So like I said, I feel like there could be several people competing for your attention. Somebody is coming off really dominating. And I feel that a conversation that you had with someone is still lingering. Like you're still thinking about this conversation that you had with somebody. So I feel like it really impacted you. Also during a sleep or a nap, especially, a message might come to you about the future of your love life. Again, it just kind of looks like maybe the universe sent someone to you and you didn't want it. So now that person has moved on, or they're giving up, or they're distancing themselves so that they can heal. They might come back. But if they do, I feel like maybe they had to re-strategize their approach with you. Because I feel like this person saw that you were a strong, independent person, and they tried to do something to get you to trust them. And I feel like they tried to get you to remember them, or remember that connection. It just doesn't seem like you were as into that person, so it's a little unrequited. If the same person does not come back, then I feel like the universe is just going to send another person. You also are maybe needing to trust again, or maybe the next person that is coming into your life is here to help you believe or restore your faith in love or relationships. Trying to see. I feel like I'm getting another message, but it's not fully coming through here. Yeah, so whatever is happening in your love life, it looks as if this is a response from the universe. The universe is like, this is what you asked for. This is what you've been praying for. So I'm going to give you what you've been praying for, including if you want to be left alone. And one last thing, it seems like you inherited something, and maybe there's a need for you to heal this curse that maybe has been passed down or that you inherited. Maybe there's an opportunity to heal or correct something. Yeah. All right, so let's see what messages there are from deck number 2 in regards to your finances and career. All right, you have the 3 of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles, the King of Cups, the 10 of Wands, Page of Swords, overall energy, 9 of Cups, 6 of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. All right, so, hang on 1 second. All right. Overall, I feel like the energy is about you being at peace and enjoying some sort of independence. Maybe you've recently returned to something that you used to do, including if it was working for yourself, or maybe you started doing something that you wanted to do in the past or from childhood. It feels like you are doing something that you care about. But it also seems like maybe you had to take a break. Something seems like you had to take like a temporary break from work or from doing what you love. But like I said, it's just temporary. I feel like you're going back in to work, and there's something that maybe you're needing to focus on or learn, or something you're needing to practice. It seems like after some sort of break, you come back more focused. And I feel like you're also experimenting. So especially for those of you that are independent or entrepreneurs, something's going on where maybe you're rebranding, or playing around with some other business ideas. But I kind of feel like you're just really trying to develop something, and you're understanding that something takes time. And it also looks like you had to re-strategize something. You might start to feel like, you know, you've got a lot to do, or something is just very difficult. But at the same time, I feel like you're determined to get the job done, or to complete some sort of a task. I feel like there is this willingness to fulfill that. And also, you know, this is like a reminder that the more difficult something becomes, it kind of means that you're close to the end, or, you know, close to reaching your goal. So not to give up. You might feel like you're taking on a lot as well, or like you're spreading yourself thin. Maybe you're doing a lot to please someone. You could have a client, depending on what you do, but you could have a client that demands a lot. But it's like you're determined to, you know, please that particular client. And I do feel like you're going to have victory. I feel like you're still learning about something, or you're having to learn as you go. If you work in a company where, you know, you work a regular 9-to-5 job, I kind of feel like maybe you felt hurt. It just seems like something happened where maybe you felt like you were cut off, or you just felt hurt in a sense. But I feel like that pain pushed you to try harder, or to keep playing around with something. And I do feel that you're being observed. You know, maybe management is seeing what you're doing. They see that you're a hard worker. And maybe you feel like you want to please management. You want to get that recognition. But it's like, even though you want to please management, I feel like something is still personal for you too. So I do feel like you're going to experience some sort of personal victory. You are also maybe needing to learn how to communicate better. I don't know if in the workplace you're not speaking up enough, or you are saying things that could distance yourself from other people. I feel like for the most part you're learning like a new skill. And your money or your finances, I feel like it's coming in, but it's like you've got to work really hard for it, and it also might take time for your money to grow. And the overall energy does just kind of like indicate that at least you're happy, or like you have to be happy or at peace with the type of work that you do or your job. So it's also possible that you could be quitting one job and starting another one. Also, if you've taken a break from work, I feel like somebody misses you. Somebody is waiting to see you, or, you know, they just miss being around you. Especially if they're a water sign. It feels too like you're wanting to create some sort of reality for yourself. And maybe there's been some kind of heartache to do that. It's also possible that you're, you know, that you have like several streams of income, or, you know, multiple streams of income. Definitely seems like you're playing around with a lot of ideas, or you're, you know, being very creative in regards to something having to do with your finances or work. Sometimes it seems like maybe you're faced with blockages. I feel like somebody's also been thinking about reaching out to you. So it looks like there There's also things that you're working on in secret or in private. I feel like there are things that you're trying to do career-wise or financially, but it's like a secret. You're not sharing what it is that you're trying to do. And then another thing I'm seeing is that maybe you feel a little hurt if it seems like someone is gatekeeping or trying to stop you from growing. You might eventually feel that nobody's got your back and that you have to do everything on your own. You're like, I'm not going to let that stop me just because this person won't help me do XYZ. I'm going to figure it out myself. So something has you driven. And whatever it is that you've been praying about, I do feel that the universe is helping you. But like I said, you're not sharing what's happening. You're keeping something to yourself. Maybe you don't want to jinx yourself and you're just like waiting until something has happened or something is over until you disclose it or talk about it. Also, if you got, separated from a job, I feel like the universe is going to give you another one and you're going to hold on to it. I feel like you also have someone, like I said, they're watching you and they admire you. And they also could be indirectly trying to express this or hint at the fact that they admire you. And this is also a little spiritual because I feel that there is someone on the other side rooting for you and protecting you and giving you some sort of guidance when it comes to pursuing your passions, or if you're suffering financially. I feel like there is someone on the other side that is trying to help you. So it looks like you're also just needing to trust your own intuition when it comes to making career moves. Like maybe someone is trying to give you advice, but I feel like ultimately you have to step out on faith and do what you feel like you're being called to do, or you have to do something your way. I feel like in order to have your desires manifest, you've got to think outside the box. So again, it seems like you are maybe having a difficult time or realize that something is harder than what it seems. You also could be trying to establish your own something, but it's like you're doing it all on your own. Maybe you're trying to establish your own group or business. Something is hard, but you can do it. And I see you also finding creative ways to get the job done. There's also this determination to finish something that you started. You're like, I can't just let it go. I have to finish this. I have to complete this. You might initially start off doing something on your own, but in the end, I feel like you're going to have support. Now, also, working or staying busy might be therapeutic for you. And I'm thinking about like that movie, If You Build It, They Will Come, Field of Dreams. So there could be something going on where you feel the need to build something. You're like, well, this is what spirit is telling me to do, or my spirit is telling me I need to do this. And you might find yourself borderline obsessed with like completing something. And it does seem like you're on to something. I feel like you are figuring out a way to make ends meet if you've been struggling, or you're finding a way to increase your finances. I feel like you're building. You also might start seeing like a lot of master numbers, 11, 11, 22, 33, 44, 144. Like you might start seeing a lot of master numbers. I kind of feel like it's a sign that you're on the right track. And it also just makes me think of master builder. I also feel like you have some sort of good ideas, either to contribute at work, or if you work for yourself, it still just indicates that maybe you have like some sort of new ideas or something that's innovative. Another reason why maybe you're keeping something secret is because maybe people don't get what you're doing, so you just keep it to yourself. Yeah. I see you just kind of keeping something to yourself. You also might be very guarded or feel the need to set boundaries with people. Maybe you don't fully trust people, or, trust sharing your ideas to people. I feel like any type of negative response you get, you just kind of not necessarily shut down, but you just kind of say to yourself, oh, I'm not telling anybody else. I'm just going to do it. And then people will see. Yeah, but the overall energy, I feel like you're being told to trust yourself and trust your decision making. Also, if you feel like you should like take a break from your job or quit a job, maybe you're needing to do it so that you can work on your own vision. And like I said, money is coming in. It's just a little slow. All right, so let's see what open messages there are with deck number 3. You have the 8 of Pentacles, the Sun, Page of Swords, 2 of Wands, Knight of Wands, overall energy, the Magician, the Hanged Man, and the Knight of Swords. All right, so I kind of feel like a vision maybe came to you, and now you're kind of playing around with this idea. Something is kind of forcing you to be creative, and it's something that you're trying to manifest, or maybe it came to you how to manifest something. And this is also kind of like a reminder saying that you have all the necessary resources in front of you to make something happen. So whatever it is that maybe you were holding off on, maybe you were just like, I'm waiting until I have the money to do this, or I'm waiting until I hear back from this person, or, whatever it is, this is just like, no, you don't need to wait anymore. Like, you can go do all of this with what you have in front of you. So yeah, I feel like you are playing around with the resources that you have in order to make something happen. Now, it's funny because it kind of seems like this could be a continuation of like career and finances, but it can be about anything. But it does seem like, again, you're focused on wealth or income, and is growing. There's some sort of financial growth happening. And you could also be doing something like that is homemade. Something seems like you're doing it on your own, or is from scratch. You're doing something from scratch. I feel like you are practicing something and you're getting better and better, and you're definitely focusing. And I see you having a victory. Something seems like you're excited or optimistic because you're getting recognition for your work, and it's paying off for you. It seems like you also start to feel as if you have a purpose, or you understand something about your purpose. You're like, okay, it's being revealed to me what my purpose is, and that motivates me. So I feel like your will is strengthening or being restored, because maybe your will or your drive has been asleep. It's been dormant, and now something is happening to restore it. Or maybe it's being like there's like a rebirth of your desires. So your solar plexus could be getting the attention that it needs. Maybe you're also doing things to feed the ego, which is much needed. I feel like your ego is getting fed. And also, as per your birth chart, I would look at where your sun is at, because I feel like that should be where your focus is. Yeah, it's like your sun is your ego, it's your purpose, and it's maybe things are coming together for you, or it's just being activated. I feel like you should also look at your 12th house for either like hidden enemies or your own self undoing, and see, what's happening with the 12th house and the ruler of the 12th house. But it definitely seems like you're having some sort of enlightenment or realization about what it is that you're wanting to manifest, or what you need to do in order to manifest something. And it also seems like communication is going to be a big deal for you. Maybe you're finding creative ways to communicate. If you have a desire or a passion to be an entertainer, you could get your big break or some sort of recognition. And that's anything in an entertainment field, even if it's behind the scenes, which is another thing about 12th house. I believe 12th house also has to do with like doing things behind the scenes. So writing, or being, some sort of producer, engineering, sound engineering, like all of this could be kind of the focus for the next week or so. In a love situation, there could be someone that is thinking about you and trying to get your attention. It could be in metaphysical ways, but there's definitely someone that is trying to get your attention. The person coming towards you could be very charming or entertaining. The shadow side of this is that they could be manipulative, but it seems to be more positive energies surrounding this. So also, there could be an air sign coming towards you, or a fire sign, or maybe a Virgo. I feel like you're also having clarity about, the direction that you're headed in, or what you should do. I feel like you're making quicker decisions. You're like, okay, I don't need to think about that for long. This is what I need to do. And it does seem like you are out there conquering your desires and your goals. And there's this sense of accomplishment, like you got something done off your checklist, and now you're like, okay, what's next? Like, I want to do this next. I want to achieve this next. So you're very passionate about achieving your goals. You could also be anticipating hearing from someone, but I feel like people are making moves. I feel like you are being proactive instead of passive. If this is about a love situation, I feel like someone is definitely like pursuing you. This person might say things to boost your ego, giving you like a lot of attention. And this is someone who is a soulmate, and it feels like a best friend. Like maybe you feel like you could just be yourself around this person. Maybe neither one of you can hide from one another. Like you can see through them, they see through you. There may be a feeling of being exposed. Even if someone is trying to be clever, it kind of feels like you can see straight through that. You're like, I can see through that mask that you're wearing. In fact, this may be like your match. Like the both of you can call each other out on things. You're like, I'm gonna call you out on this, I'm gonna call you out on that. The only thing about like, you know, relationships or romantic things is that maybe you guys can clash sometimes, or there could be power struggles because you're both pretty passionate about your beliefs or how you think things should go. But I feel like you guys are going to find a harmonious way to challenge each other. There could also be an age gap between two people, but it works. Yeah, and you definitely just seem very motivated. I feel like you're motivated and excited about some things that are happening. If someone is into investments, I see something about renovating. Like you might invest in some sort of property, or maybe your person is an investor, but I feel like somebody is renovating a home. So it also looks like there is some sort of planetary transit happening that is putting you in the right place at the right time. I feel that someone is reaching out to you, and it's happening all when it needed to happen. I don't know if you have been waiting. Well, it does look like you've been waiting for this call or some sort of response. And maybe you did kind of feel like somebody was playing games, or yeah, you felt like maybe someone wasn't serious. And then I feel like you hear back from someone. Something, I kind of feel like maybe somebody was giving you the runaround when it comes to some sort of job. And then they call back. But it is possible, it's giving you closure, but it is possible that, let's say you were waiting to hear back from a job and they kept saying that you were hired, but you just weren't hearing anything, or something weird was happening. I kind of feel like by the time they reach out to you again, you will have moved on. You will have found something else. Or maybe you decided to start your own business and you're like, I don't need this job. My business picked up, or, you know, I don't need this. So there could be some sort of shift happening that's making you more independent. In regards to a relationship that may have fallen apart, it seems like maybe you guys are trying to resolve some sort of old issues in the relationship. I don't know. It seems like you guys have to come to some sort of conclusion about the direction of your relationship. And either you're going to decide to stay and work together, or there's going to be a mutual agreement to let it go. I also feel like you're going to discover your calling, or your calling is going to be confirmed. Like maybe you already felt like something was your calling, but it's being confirmed now. Again, it just seems like you are getting recognition for your hard work. Maybe whatever you're doing is getting you business, if you're independent, or you're just getting more work at your job, or you're being trusted with some sort of work that could get you some sort of promotion. And I feel like you're also being pushed out of your comfort zone. But something is still fun. When it comes to a love situation, I feel like there could be someone at work trying to get your attention. If you are a single parent, I feel like your children are wanting your attention. They could be doing things for attention. I also see you getting paid for your ideas. If you want to be an influencer, it definitely could be turning out pretty good for you. Influencer or digital creator. Energies are good for that. Also, anyone who works in engineering. Now, also, people could be trying to shake your confidence. Don't let them do it. Also, if you're confident about something that you're doing and then someone says something kind of negative and makes you have doubts about your talent or your creativity, I feel that that person that's saying something negative is really that little negative voice inside of you just being projected back. And that is so that you can like squash it. Tell that voice to shut up and continue to believe in, what you're doing. It seems like you're also overcoming some sort of fear, or you're confronting it. Maybe initially you were trying to avoid some sort of fear that you had, but now you're confronting it. It seems like you can't be afraid to defend yourself either. Again, something feels like you're being watched or observed. In a love situation, either you have multiple secret admirers or you are being gang stalked, but not in the negative sense, just more like somebody who has like a big family or protective family. If they know their family member is interested in you and they've been talking about you, the family is going to be watching you. They're going to like, let me see who this person is, like what this person's all about. Who is this that has my brother or my cousin or my sister all worked up? Like, who is this person? So I kind of feel like their family is like secretly watching you, and then maybe like reporting back and talking about how they feel about what they saw or how they feel about you or what vibe they're getting from you. Career-wise, I feel that you're getting recognition for your creativity. There may be some people that are a little against what you do, but I feel like the overall response is positive. You also are coming off as wearing many hats. I feel like you have to be so many different people in order to bring your vision to life. So if you have any type of vision, something that has been your dream, I feel like you are having to wear like a lot of hats to make this dream come true. And I also feel like you are having premonitions, like you're having maybe one premonition or many premonitions, but there's a lot of messages that may be coming to you in your dreams. And it's trying to show you about your future. If you're being pursued by somebody, I feel like you really want someone else, or you're just not emotionally available for the person that's pursuing you. Yeah. You also might keep your distance from someone that you don't fully trust, especially if you feel like this person is only wanting something sexual. All right, so those are the messages that I have for you. Hopefully it resonated. Feel free to leave your feedback. Thank you guys for watching. Sending love and grace.